So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So yeah, I just want to make another video talking about Luffy Crew. This will be the last one for a while. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the ability with Luffy Crew to easily build with dual Luffy Crew captain. And the reason for that is of course the final tap level 5. At lower levels, it's not quite as impactful, like sure at level 4 what I say in this video still applies, but yeah, the higher you go, the less it applies. But yeah, definitely level 5. And what I'd argue is that you can think about Luffy Crew almost like a rainbow damage captain. And since I'm going to talk about this topic here, I thought I might as well go through all of them as well to like make the most out of it. So yeah, I thought I'd start with the OG one, Bullet. And yeah, Bullet is becoming a bit old, but he's still really good. I should make a vid again just destroying content with him, because he definitely can. I feel like the multipliers are still not yet quite got to the level where Bullet is purely outdated. Like, for now I still feel like he mainly benefits from higher multipliers, since you can rely more on Bullet by him doing more damage. But of course eventually his multiplier will start holding him back a little, but 4.75 times, it's still fine. And you see, as it says, character's normal attacks are effective against all enemy types. So if Bullet hits a quick unit, he will still do super effective damage. So if we take a look at the team I built, note that Bullet only boosts strength, quick, and int characters. So I just put some int units together. So this is not a proper team. This is just more to talk about how you can use Bullet. So on a normal team, if you faced Psy content and had 2 strength captains, so imagine double Bullet, you would have 4 units that can deal super effective damage, big damage on the final stage. And I often talk about this, that you can always run one unit that is not boosted or anything, since the way chain works, someone has to start the chain. Before you start the chain, you're not really doing any real damage at all. So you easily get away with that, but every unit you hit after the first one can contribute a lot with damage. Of course, that's oversimplifying it. There's a lot of different ways to build teams. We'll get into that when we look at Germa later as well. But basically with a Bullet team, you can run double Bullet, and if you face like Dex content, you can run a full strength team, everybody hits super effectively. You can run Bullet against, say, other content like strength. You can run Bullet, quick subs, all 6 hit super effectively. And then Bullet's captain ability can also help against potential mini bosses with different colors and such. So very useful utility, but the main thing is final stage. Even if the captains are different colors, you can still hit super effectively with every unit on the team. And that just makes a very big difference in the potential damage you can do. So yeah, keep that in mind. Germa is a bit different, since he's a Psy-focused unit, so the reason you use Germa, it's different ways. His main use nowadays, I'd say, is to handle mini-bosses or such. Like if you are going up against int content, there's maybe a boss that isn't int. Germa can just destroy them very, very easily. But I do feel that's a bit underselling him, because this unit is so insane. He can basically do almost whatever he wants. Like, he has the ability to outright one-hit KO most bosses by himself. So it's a lot of fun to use, and I know many use Germa to carry their meme teams. Like maybe someone has a goal to beat every content with a certain unit, and Germa can definitely help you with that, since you can always swap in a much better captain, multiplier wise and such. So yeah, I'm a big fan of him, but he's not really the topic on the video, since yeah, With Yerma, you're mostly using him on side teams. You can use him outside of that too. But then it's mostly because you want only Yerma to do damage. So that's the difference with Yerma compared to the other rainbow caps. Like Yerma, you only want Yerma to do anything at all. Moving on, we have the Straw Hat Pirates Legend. And they are also a rainbow captain, but only if HP is full. And if you compare Bullet with Straw Hat Pirates, like Bullet is also 4 times, but for himself 4.75 times, while Straw Hat becomes 5 times for himself. But otherwise, Straw Hat is a rainbow captain, which is much more useful, but he has the drawback of only doing rainbow damage at full HP, which can be hard or easy depending on what you use. Like, we have units like, say, V2 Chauzu and Manchury that can easily let you always be above full HP, for example. But yeah, like, this team is also not a proper team, but like on this team, if you face quick content, despite using 2 side captains, if you run double Straw Hats, all 6 will hit super effective damage as long as you are full HP. So of course that means like if you start a chain, like you don't have to give up 2 hits that could do damage, but everybody can do a lot of damage. But of course he's still held back by the captain ability, since the crew won't do as much damage as he himself will. But still, pretty cool captain, even if I think Straw Hat Pirates is mainly a sub. So yeah, now we get into the real topic, because some of you might feel confused, like why am I talking about rainbow captains with Luffy Crew, because they are not a rainbow damage captain. I am fully aware of that, but I'm talking about this from a team building perspective. Like as you see, I have my level 5 final tap Luffy Crew here, and like when you get to the final stage, he has this incredible final tap. So let's say we face strength content here. Of course, both our Luffy Crews won't hit super effectively per se, but the way you burst will be very similar to as if Luffy Crew was a rainbow captain, because you never really give up damage final stage if you have a level 5 final tap Luffy Crew. Because imagine this, we run 2 Luffy Crew, one has level 5 final tap. So if you face a final boss that is quick, you simply start the chain with the Luffy Crew that isn't level 5 final tap. Someone has to start the chain. Like that's always the case, they will never do a lot of damage. But then you hit with all the 4 crewmates and they will do super effective damage, big damage. And then you hit last with the level 5 Luffy Crew, and usually that will not do a lot of damage, not super effective. Like, you shouldn't hit with them last, but you hit with them last because that Luffy Crew will take all the damage the other 4 did on the crew, multiply it by 1.2, and just put it on the enemy. So effectively, that's what I'm talking about. Like, effectively, final stage, final tap level 5 Luffy Crew effectively becomes a rainbow damage unit, because you're using him as if he did rainbow damage, but it's just that it's a lot more like insane. And if we're talking about captains too, like as you noted with other rainbow damage captains, like their captain abilities were very held back, but Luffy Crew can go up to 5.25 times attack for every unit. And of course he has the quotation mark drawback that he can only use his quotation mark rainbow damage on the final stage. But let's be real, it's really only on the final stage where you really can lack damage like that. See, I hope my way of thinking makes sense. Like, you can feel free to say that that I'm incorrect and such. It's just, it helps with thinking like that, because let's say we take any other normal legend. Like, we can put Akainu here, for example. We can take Strength. We can take Driven and Powerhouse. And I'll just take some random ones. Like in this scenario, if we're facing quick content, double Akaino Captain, you will never get that same scenario I just described. If you face a quick boss here, you will have 4 units that mainly do damage, which are the subs. That doesn't mean it's a bad team or anything, but you will just miss out on potential damage. And that will always happen for a normal legend, unless you run a team against the same color as you are, or as the weaker color. So if Akaino faces strength content, you can use a mono quick team, driven powerhouse, and you can hit with super effective against everything. But yeah, the power with Luffy Crew is that no matter what color, anything, final stage, you will always be able to hit optimal damage, potentially, if you want. So yeah, I just thought that that's how I think about him. Anyways, like you maybe notice that I often don't run duo captains, but I just don't think that's that interesting. But as busted as Luffy Crew are, they are definitely one of the best recently to run as duo captain. And I just think it's pretty boring for normal content. Like later today, I'll have a special video up with Luffy Crew beating all arenas. You'll see myself playing around with it a bit, and I don't think it's very inspiring to build with, but yeah. But for those teams I didn't use Final Tap, so it doesn't really apply. But you'll probably see more from me with Final Tap level 5 Luffy in the coming months, when we get suitable content or when I just feel like memeing a bit. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening to me rambling. Have a good one, guys. See you next time.